Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about a third-party sender. You ready to learn more? Stay tuned. Hey everybody, I've been working on a series that is very short. It's just about third-party senders and third-party service providers. But this just in, they're not that easy. They can get quite complicated. What I've done in the following is tried to make it simpler to understand either the third-party sender or the third-party service provider. It's two different videos. So please understand that in these examples, there are other examples and there are other ways that it can work. Like for example, my third-party service provider, I show it as working with an originator, but it's also a relationship that can be directly with a financial institution. And there's a couple of terms I don't even cover, like sending point and receiving point. So please take it with a grain of salt and understand, if you're one of those professionals who gets technical about everything, that these videos are to be able to help you to get that beginning, general understanding. And if you want to further your education, the Payments Professor's got more for you in future videos. It's very important in the financial industry, well, in industry, heck, even in life general, that we always understand what each other is saying when we're talking about things. Now in the financial industry, it's understanding what third parties are. And when we have third-party senders, third-party payments processors, third-party service providers, it really can get confusing. I just heard that a third party may be doing this and that with the third-party service provider, the ODFI, from the ODFI to the ACH, all this work. Well, a third-party service provider, or TPSP, and a third-party sender are really different things. What if he means a third-party payment processor instead of a third-party sender? Oh my gosh, it's just too much. Oh, and also don't forget, there's a third-party payment processor association. That's right, there is, the TPPA. And you can find out more about them if you go to my YouTube webpage or if you go to tpppa.org. Highly recommend it if you work with third parties. So what is a third-party sender or a third-party payment processor? And what's the difference? The official definition for third-party sender, and that's the one we're going to use, is the one from the ACH world. And it goes something like this. A third-party sender is a type of third-party service provider that acts on behalf of the originator only. In other words, it is an intermediary between the originator and the ODFI. In this type of relationship, there is generally no contractual agreement between the ODFI and the originator. And usually you will also hear something like this. The ODFI has a direct agreement with the third-party sender, but the ODFI does not have a direct agreement with the originator on whose behalf the third-party sender transmits entries. Huh? Payments Professor, you know, you're using all these third-party words and stuff, and it really gets confusing sometimes. I know. So that's where it's time for the Professor's Breakdown time. So what is a third-party sender? It's a third party. It's not the first, it's not the second. It's someone else sending someone else's transactions or entries for them. Would you like an example? Let's say you're a small company. How about Wanda's Widgets? And you have, 5 employees. You don't have an accountant yet because you're still pretty small. You probably don't even have an HR person yet. You want to be able to offer direct deposit payroll to your employees. Good choice. But you don't have the time, the software, or maybe even the understanding of how to do this. So you go to another company to do this for you. Let's make up a company that Wanda's Widgets can go to. How about the Professor's Payroll Company? Well, the Professor's Payroll Company has a relationship with an ODFI. It's the bank or credit union that they work with, and they'll have an agreement with them. Now, their ODFI has to allow them, should allow them to process files into the ACH network through that ODFI and on behalf of others. You, the small business, probably don't have a relationship with this ODFI. Maybe even not a really good one with a bank or credit union because you're new, you're not established yet. But the Professor's Payroll, they send the files for processing. So you send the information of who you want to be paid to the Professor's Payroll. And the Professor's Payroll Company sends that information on behalf of Wanda's Widgets. Those entries are probably that batch of payroll entries to the Professor's ODFI. Again, the bank or credit union where the professor's payroll company has an account and an agreement, but your company, Wanda's Widgets, most likely does not. Now, in this situation, the professor's payroll company is a third-party sender. Why? Because they're sending entries on behalf of somebody else. They're a third party. Who's first? Let's go with the originator, Wanda's Widgets. Who's second? Let's go with the ODFI. Who's third? Wait, and they're in between. See, a third-party sender is when you send entries on behalf of someone else. You might be saying, but payments, Professor, isn't that risky? Yes! Yes, it can be very risky. Can be, not always. Because the ODFI most likely doesn't have a relationship or an agreement with the originator. I said most likely. But wait, who is the originator in this situation? Of course, it's the business. It's Wanda's Widgets. Professor, are you sure? Yes! The professor's payroll company is sending on behalf of Wanda's Widgets. They're the third party sending the entries where Wanda's Widgets is the originator. It can't be that simple. Well, actually determining a third party is a third party can at times be quite a challenge. I could probably make an entire video on just how to go through and identify them. In fact, I got a series, I'll have to put that in there. For a financial institution to identify and recognize they're working with a third party, it's imperative that they do so. And there's more due diligence, risk monitoring, and compliance that needs to be in place if you do identify you have this type of relationship. Class, that's the professor's breakdown on a third-party sender. If you'd like to have more, let me know. If you have some in-depth questions or you're looking in help on identifying third parties, or maybe you are a third-party organization, well, let me know. I have friends in the industry. In fact, I have one, she's called the third-party queen, that I can point you to. I also know organizations that help with risk mitigation and of course even provide audits when it comes to third parties and third-party senders. And of course, if you are a third party, I highly encourage you looking at the Third Party Payment Processors Association, which you can find out more about by going to tpppa.org. And if you are in need right now of identifying if you have a third-party relationship, you can always start with the NACHA Third-Party Identification Tool, which is available on the nacha.org website. It's a great third-party identification tool. And as always, if you have any additional questions, or maybe even a video suggestion, or anything you want to share, email me, kevin@paymentsprofessor.com, or leave a comment, or message me. And if you like the video, please hit the like button. Thank you for watching.